Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is GB Speaks Facts, and today I'm going to be speaking about the Valve Steam Deck. I spoke about it in a couple other videos before, just kind of around the time where the emails are coming out, but I've now owned one. I've owned one for quite a bit. It showed up in somewhere in June, I believe, and I haven't put it down since. Of course, if I'm not playing like other games and stuff. But essentially what I want to talk about, guys, this is a rant and it's unscripted, so if you feel me, if you own a Steam Deck, you definitely feel me on this. When is Valve going to address or kind of give us a follow-up on the anti-cheat situation? What do I mean about that, guys? The anti-cheat situation. So if you don't already know, Valve uses Linux as their base OS to create their own version of Linux, which is the Steam OS, right? Phenomenal interface. I love it. I love the desktop side. I love the gaming side. I have no personal issues with it. And Linux, with a bit of Google searching and Reddit searching and whatnot, you more or less are going to figure out your workarounds to play certain window games, play certain window-based streaming or gaming services and stuff. And more or less something like Lutris or Bottles is how I'm playing Overwatch 2 right now. Online, no issue, because I believe they don't use an anti-cheat software, and if they do, they're just not bullying people that are using the Steam Deck. I don't know. But games like Call of Duty, those like MOBA games like League of Legends, which I believe maybe would actually work in here, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're probably in risk of being banned on all of these, regardless if it works or not, since Linux doesn't have anti-cheat software. Now, I have a bunch of angles I want to go about this. One, unless you tell me I'm wrong, most games, especially for smaller creators, start off on Linux because it's a free software. It's easier, I guess, to develop the game, and then you move it over to other OSs like Microsoft and Apple. Maybe some people natively make it for that, like Windows, for instance, let's say, just to make it easier, because Linux never really had an OS until Steam Deck, right? Unless someone else made it, and it was an official OS. And I get that. That's all fine and dandy, but one, now that they know the Steam Deck is out, and it may take some time for it to get popular for like Microsoft, I guess, if they acquire Activision, to say, hey, let's get this ball rolling and work on an anti-cheat for Linux. And this is where I understand I don't know enough about this, so I could be wrong, but maybe Linux, since it's so open source, an anti-cheat is impossible because how it works, someone could find a way to hack, yada yada. Bro, they're hacking your shit on Windows. Activision, people are hacking the shit out of your game on Windows. How much protected is this anti-cheat software where people are still doing that same shit on this glorious OS that is Windows? Bro, I get it. I use Windows. I own a PC. The only thing Linux I use is the Steam Deck. I'm on Windows for everything. But it's like, bro, Windows has so many other issues. Crazy updates that kill your freaking space on your hardware, regardless of what you do. I've contacted them, even they themselves, because they just offshore their freaking support team, don't know shit about why it happens. They can't even tell you. It's just, it just does that. Okay, right? So you get my point. I don't think it's too much of an issue. It's just more so they don't feel like monetarily it's worth it, right? Because it may do more harm than it does good. But you have a bunch of games and a bunch of people that want to play certain games like Fortnite, like Call of Duty, like Diablo, I think in some instances, like any other anti-cheat related game, Paladins even. I want to play Paladins, bro. Like, I used to being able to play right in the beginning on Steam, and then they started booting me off. It won't load a game anymore, so they figured it out, I guess, whatever. But why not work on something? Maybe Valve is in the back end speaking to these guys saying, hey, can we create something? And they're just shutting them down. But Valve, let us freaking know. You knew a big portion of why people wanted this beyond the emulation was to play online PC games. Nobody plays one-player games anymore, bro. I don't give a fuck about you, like Elden Ring, or no one fucking does that, man. Those days are over. From the moment you were going to your friend's house and plugging 4 controllers in to play something, all those type of games are dead. You might find them hopping up out of the woodworks, but everyone's playing a game that is online where your friend's going to be on the other side of a mic, and more or less, if it is a PvP related shooter or whatever, it's going to have some form of anti-cheat. So why wasn't there any thought process to speak with these people to get this anti-cheat to work? Now Microsoft has come out and said, hey guys, we're going to make it so Halo could work with this little twist around to like freaking, I don't know, suck up to us or something like that. But dude, if you're and I get it, Activision's not fully owned by Microsoft, but like let's just assume for a second they own everything. If you're going to take Halo and allow it to work, and I'm assuming it has and maybe it doesn't have anti-cheat, which is like if it doesn't, how are you stopping hackers from hacking that game? It must have some form of anti-cheat, or if it doesn't, why do you need one for Call? I don't know, but it's like if you're gonna do that, why not allow some form or loop or workaround for Call of Duty to work? Why not? Is it because it's your big flagship game and you want people to purchase Microsoft for it? Bro, dude, listen. No one's going to download SteamOS on their PC. No one's going to download SteamOS on their gaming laptop. They're not. They're really, really not. And if they did, they'll just dual boot it, right? Which is a whole other topic. But the majority of people using the game for Linux will be on a Steam Deck. They will. Even those other Chinese-made handheld PCs use Windows. So it's not like, bro, it's only for the Steam Deck. And I get there's like a double-edged sword there to say, well, then it's not worth it. There is quite a lot of them that were sold. A lot more are going to be sold. They're going to outcompete those $3,000, $2,000 Chinese models that may be stronger or whatever, but no one's forking out $2 freaking grand for a handheld PC. This is $400. This is going to outsell, and I think they're just staggering this because if they add something like that onto the SteamOS, it's gonna give less reason for people to stick towards the Microsoft side that we all know for gaming is garbage. It's garbage. I have had the worst experience in the world. I don't even know if I could show you what my Steam username is, but it's not favoring of Microsoft. But let me tell you that. And I actually got into Steam because of how of a bad experience I had with Microsoft. I was so fucking livid. I haven't gotten angry in so long. I punched my wall. I was so mad with the service, it going down every other minute. It's always down. The servers are always freaking down. They don't know why. They can't tell you anything. The support system is asininely garbage and the most irating piss off to deal with. Like every 7 calls. Sorry, it takes you 7 calls and being hung up on to get to somebody that might be adequately enough to help you with the issue. But that we're even working off of 40%. Microsoft, your support system is the worst I've ever seen on any company. Hands down, absolute trash. I have a video, I think, on an older channel just speaking on how bad your service is. It's hard for me to say this because it's like, on one hand, I get why you're hiding it then, because you know you might be losing out to a better OS. You don't want the competition to have this little edge over you. Bro, you're ruining the experience for a lot of individuals. Playing COD handheld is something that we've always wanted to do, waiting for you to put it on the Switch. We get why you can't or wouldn't want to, but here's this new Switch that can handle it. You're still making money off of the game because people will buy it off of Battle.net. Your freaking client or whatever, at the end of the day, if you allow this to work on that side. So what is the freaking problem? Why are all these games like, oh, no, well, I'm not going to work, no anti-cheat, not going to work. Then fucking build one. Build an anti-cheat for Linux. Work with Steam, who's probably begging you to freaking create this thing so we don't have to find loop arounds to make a bunch of these games work. And the loop arounds I don't mind, but the loop around can't work because this anti-cheat bull crap. It's bullshit. I'm sitting there thinking, and you know what's funny too? Battle.net is so garbage for COD. My COD when I'm playing Warzone or whatever freezes and crashes almost every other game. And, oh, your computer, no, bro. Every freaking game I can play. I can play Halo. I play Paladins. I can play League of Legends. I can play Overwatch. I can play Monster Hunter. I can play any freaking game with no issue. I play online games a crap out of them with high quality graphics. I have a more than adequate enough graphics card and 32 gigs of RAM in my shit. It shouldn't be crashing the way it does. So I say that all to say, I'm going to purchase your game on something, I'm going to play on my PC, and no, it's probably going to crash and have a bunch of crappy ass issues. And Battle.net has its own issues with random errors that have the stupidest fixes that sometimes don't have any fixes, and asinine workarounds that have to do with going into files. Regular people don't fucking know how to do that shit. People who play Call of Duty are freaking console gamers. Maybe they moved over to PC like me, and I know a little bit about PCs, but I hate having to do tedious shit just to make something work that I pay for that should already work. If I am going to deal with that, I'd rather be able to know I can play it handheld as well. It'll be worth it at that point, in my opinion. So I'm looking at it like I'm now not going to purchase this game that I want to purchase because I don't have an updated console to play it on. My PC, knowing that it's going to be, wonky or whatever, I'm not going to want to play it just from that experience. And understandably, saying, well, it's going to be wonky or Steam Deck, I'll take that risk and deal with it since I'd rather play it handheld. It's worth it at that point. My $100 is worth it for games because games are $100 now. But I'm going to leave it off with that. Really, in conclusion, work with Valve. Stop turning down Valve. Or if it is Valve just not giving a shit, not doing anything, Valve, start giving a shit and work on some way to get anti-cheats on Linux. So people stop turning their Steam OS into Windows, because that's what they're going to get pushed towards. Steam still works on Windows, so all these games you're saying that work on Steam will be on the Windows OS that people are going to download on their Steam Deck. You're going to lose people using your shit, because one of the big key factors on why we wanted a handheld format console was to play our online games with anti-cheats. Let's be real. I want to play Shinobi Strikers. I'm kind of bored of it, but playing it handheld was a new, fresh feeling for me. I can't do that. I can't play the majority of games that I had on Steam because they're usually online games. I'm not that big on playing story mode games anymore. It's boring. I have some of them, but even when they're done, right? I don't want to invest $80 in something where it's just buy it and done with $80 with another game can have me endless amount of content. I've been playing games for over 25 years or some shit. Like I don't need that. But I'm going to leave it up there. This video is way too long, but I hope you guys enjoyed the rant. Subscribe to the channel if you want. I'm not going to be making videos like this as much. You already know what it is. GB out there. Shit. Peace.